introduction, and you guys, it is an honor to come talk to you today. I've heard all day today from each and every one of these coaches something in my story, so I will try to recap and not take too much of your time, but starting with the fact that I wish I had this opportunity when I was in college. You guys, this was something that I didn't grow up with health or fitness, kind of like Megan, where she started young, but I didn't even start young. I kind of had a lot of bad habits and didn't really know better. I graduated college, went to work, got a job in corporate America, got married, and was very happy. So this is my husband, and we've been married for 20 years. I have 4 children. My first is going off to college in 2 weeks. When I started this business, guys, he was 5, okay? So it's definitely been, I mean, I've hit every phase of this business that you guys are thinking about. I've been a new, pregnant, non-pregnant, everything that you thought about. And you can do it, and it's really a mindset. So the way it all started for me was much like many of these guys here. I was a customer, just like many of you. But even before that, somebody shared their story with me. And I want to back up to that time, just to give you an idea of how powerful each and every one of you are, okay? Because your story, regardless of how much weight you've lost, regardless of what transformation you have, is the power to change. I mean, if my coach, who wasn't even a coach at the time, did not share her story with me, I would not be here today. And I can list for you 100 other things that would not be happening for my family if I were not here. So I'm going to back up to a point, even if you look at this picture up here where there's me holding this little baby, my husband and my 2 other babies, that's before coaching. But that's after my friend shared her story with me. So I'm going to just tell you about that day. The day that I met my friend was a random girl in the park. I had my kids with me. There was no 3, there were only 2. And we were talking, and I was 8.5 months pregnant. So I ran into this woman, and I struck up a conversation with her because, well, we had little kids at the park. We were neighbors. Well, I didn't know we were neighbors, but I wondered how she knew someone that I knew that was at the park. Because she had just moved here, I found out. And long story short was she had to tell me about her Beachbody journey because that was how she knew the guy that was at the park. It was like through the online message boards, if anyone and that's what it used to be called. There were just like proctors on the message boards, and people would encourage other people. It was all, there were no like real pictures. It was just like, I don't know, like Twitter, but not in real time. It was like posts. I probably can't even imagine it. But anyway, so she told me her story. She said she had lost weight and she'd had a transformation, and I was 8.5 months pregnant, so all I was thinking was, oh, maybe that will work for me one day, but I probably don't need that, because I've lost weight before after babies. But remember, I wasn't a healthy person, okay? And I never really did fitness. I always looked at the skinny people and thought, that's really great, and I want to be like them, right? I want to wear those cute clothes and walk around. So anyway, I had my baby, and I thought, I can do this. I've done this before, so I had my 3rd baby, and now I can do this on my own. And what I found was that my plan that I had used before wasn't working, and I couldn't do it on my own. I had 3 kids, and it was hard, and I didn't know what I was doing wasn't working. So I called up my friend and I said, hey, that thing that you did, what was it, Power 90? Can you help me with that? Can I do that? And she loaned me her DVDs, and I pressed play once or twice a week, maybe. Then she wanted them back. She's like, okay, I need them back. Someone else wants to borrow them, and that might have been true or not, but it didn't matter. So I needed my own. She helped me order it. Now, mind you, she's not a coach. She was just a happy customer, and she helped me order it. And I did it a few more times, then I went on vacation. So that picture you see right there is me on vacation with my 3 kids, with my beautiful, happy life. Although, I don't think I was as happy as when I saw the pictures, like, when I look at that picture, you might see a 37-year-old mom of 3 who has 2 boys and a girl. And that was a dream, right? But I wasn't happy. I was borderline depressed. I was overweight, out of shape. I couldn't walk up the stairs. When the baby napped, I wanted to nap. And it wasn't right, and I knew it wasn't right. And I had the tools, okay? I'd already bought that program. So the aha moment I had was when I saw that picture. I was like, seriously? Like, what am I thinking? I need to do this. So they say that there's a time that you sign up and a time that you get started. So I mean, this is just as a customer, but I got started, right? So I made that decision to do it, and I did it every day. And my coach supported me. She wasn't a coach, remember? She was just my friend. She came over and watched the baby. She'd invite me to her house, and when my husband got home from work, and I'd leave the baby. So I actually got to work out. And then I started doing it on my own. When the baby slept, instead of like me wanting to sleep, then I would actually just go to, you know, instead of doing the laundry and the dishes and all the things that were going to be around, I went and pushed play on the TV. And it was hard, and I struggled, and I couldn't do it. And there were days that I wanted to quit, but I did it every day, even if it was hard. And after 3 months, this is the transformation I had. And it felt good. I mean, Natasha, she's right? Like, you feel good. You just get excited. You just want to share. And that's what I was doing without really trying. People were saying, you have a 9-month-old baby. What are you doing? You're smaller now than you've ever been, and I've known you for, 10 years. Oh my gosh, it's this thing. It's this Power 90. Go on to beachbody.com. And I must have sold like 13 or 14 Power 90s. Like, seriously, because I wanted everyone to feel like I was feeling, right? So my friend wound up being approached by Carl Deichler to become a coach when he started coaching. So she's a founding coach. Her name's Monica Ward. And she called me from that meeting and said, listen, I want you to join me in this because you're doing what they're talking about. We're doing it. It's like what we've been doing. We're helping each other. We can help more people, and they're going to pay us. There's a commission. Okay, yeah. So yeah, right. I want to sign up because I gave up my corporate job to stay home with my kids, and I felt guilty if I wanted to buy tennis shoes or do something for me. So that was my reason, was I'd get a 25% discount, and I could actually buy something for me and not feel guilty. So, even with the business, I got pregnant again, and I watched everyone do the business, and there was 1 year, this is where I want to talk about mindset. There was 1 year where I was so close to being in the top of the region. We had regional top coaches that year. And I remember the trip was to Hawaii, and I was like, oh, but I'm so tired. And I'd see my name, and I'd be like number 3 for my region, and I would make all these excuses. Oh, well, Barbie Decker's in my region, and she's Barbie Kayla. And she hasn't gone to the number 1 position yet, so she's going to do it. And then I'd be like, oh, and then, there's this other person, and they still have to win before I can win. And I was qualifying myself out of winning, and I was giving myself permission to not win, and I didn't try. I said I was tired and I was pregnant, and those things were true. And whether I could or I couldn't, it was up to me, and I didn't. So I finished that year with a little bit of regret, just because I think I knew that I could if I tried, but I didn't give myself permission to try. It was easier to make up an excuse. I don't know if any of you have ever just done that, but so that was a lesson for me, right? So the following year, we had a leadership event that you had to qualify for, and I honestly can't even tell you what the qualifications for it was, but what it was I was pregnant, and I couldn't travel if I hadn't had that baby, and I was no control of that. So it was my 4th child I was pregnant with. And I was just waiting and praying and hoping that I was going to be able to have that baby early to get to that event. And the stars aligned, and they had to move the event by a week or 2. They postponed it because there was a conflict with Tony Park's schedule, and my baby came 3.5 weeks early. So it was lining up, right? Like, I'm going to this event. And it was in California, so I didn't even have to fly with this baby. I could drive. Well, I don't know if that was grand scheme of plan that was, but the 6-hour drive to California took 9 hours, and I had a friend who went with me and drove with me, that screaming baby that didn't really want to be in the car seat strapped in. We made it there, and I have to tell you that was kind of a turning point for me in my business. Was I kind of drew a line in the sand, and I said, I will be there. If this baby's out, I will be there no matter what. And I never really had anxiety or any kind of apprehensions about things, because I'm kind of like a go for it girl. But the night before that trip, I was having to travel alone with an infant and be in a hotel room with my friend, who was not a stranger, but like another person. And I didn't, oh my gosh, then I had to go to meetings all day, right, with this infant. And by the way, at that point, no one brought babies to Beachbody. so I did break the ground on that one. But and that's a good thing, because the way I see it now, I don't know what we would do if people couldn't bring their babies. So I remember sitting there with the baby, and there were these executives in the room, and get up and run out and the baby would cry because I'm like, they're going to kick me now. But probably most of the meeting went over my head. And what I have to say was that I showed up, and I think that's important for each and every one of you to know is you just need to make a plan, and you need to make it happen, and you need to show up. And you need to set that goal to be there and to do it. And after that event, I realized, by that time I'd already been coaching for about 3 years, okay? And my income was about $500 a week. They had asked me to think of, the impact that it had on my life, and I remember the story that it's a good story, is that I had stopped contributing to our family's bottom line because I wanted to stay home with my kids. And that was really important to me. That was just the value that I had, that I knew that if I could, I would. We could, we just had to change how we were living, so we did. And when I realized that my income was paying for something that was so significant, in 2008 or 7 or 8, we bought a new home. We were planning to move, and the housing market crashed. And we owned 2 homes. Well, many people, the way that went was you just let go of a house and you foreclosed, or you walked away and you just kind of did what you had to do. But we were in a situation because of the money and the business that I had created where I was able to pay for that mortgage. And maybe we could have found a different way, but at least we had a way that there were other things with the house that came along with it, but that mortgage payment was paid for by my Beachbody income. And so we kept that house. Unfortunately, we had it for an entire year, but it was a very stressful time in our lives, and I know that what I was doing and helping people was contributing to something of our families, and something that we didn't have to do that we were able to get out of. So that was when I realized that, wow, if I really put more effort into this business, I wonder what I could do. And I was watching my sponsor, who was kicking butt, and I'm like, wow, she's really making a lot of money, and she's helping a lot more people than me. So I think I can do exactly what she's doing. And I watched her hit the $1 Million Club, and I said, I'm going to do the same thing. I watched her set goals for hitting top coach or top 10 coach, and I said, I'm going to do it with her. And I did. And that's what I want to tell you, is that it was a mindset. It totally was something that I had control over. Because when I was pregnant and I said I couldn't do it because I was tired and it was worn out and it was going to be hard, I was right. I didn't do it. And it was hard, okay? I'm not going to lie. This is work, and there's no guarantees. And you just have to set goals and help people and stay with it. And so one of the highlights in my Beachbody coaching career, and I think I was coaching before I was paid, I told you, was I would do it for free. It's fun. I love it. I wouldn't sacrifice some of the things that I do because I am paid for it. I sacrifice a lot because it's work. But one of the highlights, and I think I would, this makes it, if I could do this for people, I would do it all day long for free. But that's my mom up there in the parade. And she was in her 60s when she started, late 60s, when she started drinking Shakeology, okay? And she had a transformation with just drinking Shakeology. That's her. That's huge. And she's still around. And that's one of my biggest accomplishments, is knowing that I've helped the people that are closest to me have a better life and, better health. And my sister has scoliosis, and she uses Beachbody programs, and she's healthier because of it. And I could go on and on. I have customers, I have coaches on my team. They've lost hundreds of pounds. And those types of stories are why I do what I do, why I love it, why I don't leave. Why I've made a lot of money is because I love it, I believe in it. It doesn't feel like a job. I work at it. There's no, walks in the park, but the reward that's given to you when you can help others and you can help them do what you're doing is beyond incredible. So this picture down here is my current family as of April. Like I told you, my oldest is going off to college, and I'm just proud that I can give them the things that I want to give them, and it's because of Beachbody. Because I took a chance and said yes to an opportunity that I had no idea what it was, what it would do for me, but I knew it felt good and it felt right, and that feeling that Beachbody fever is what I call it, or P90X fever back in the day, of just helping somebody else get started and help people. It's just contagious, and you guys, half of you or all of you in the room probably have it, and just harness it. My tips are to stay using the products. I'm not the same fitness level that I was 13 years ago, but the beauty of it is I have all the tools and I know exactly what to do. So if I want to make a change, guess what? I can, right? Or I can't, right? So I choose to, and I start Morning Meltdown on Monday with many of you. I'm hoping there's another transformation up there where I can kind of show you my before and after again. But I just want to say that those are the things, if you stick around, if you stay consistent. I know they were touting my numbers in Success Club, and really it's just consistency and persistency. I will come up to a point where I haven't talked to enough people and realize, oh my gosh, what am I doing? And turn it on. But if you're consistent, you don't even have to stop and start. Just keep sharing and being authentic to who you are. So your stories are what matter. And it doesn't matter how pretty they are, and it doesn't matter how many times they go up on Instagram. I mean, I've made a business connecting with people in person, believe it or not. That's kind of what we had to do before we had these other tools. But it really works for me because I really do care. And I don't always get to meet new people, but that's part of the beauty of the internet is you can meet people. You can meet them at all times of the day, all times of the night. You don't even have to be awake to be meeting people, which is kind of weird to me. But however you do it, just stay consistent with it. And be here a year from now, because if you can help people do what you're doing, what I did, I didn't do any of my accolades that anyone's told me, told you about me, by myself, okay? The only thing I did by myself is have a transformation, but even that was supported by others, right? I had to press play, and I had to eat right. Those are the things that I did. But I shared my story, and I invited people. So I hit Success Club by myself, really, right? That's me, because I can control it. But everything else I did, my team, my rank, my income, that's because I have people like each and every one of you that I help. And I want each and every one of you to turn to your partner that brought you here and tell them that you want to do this and you want to succeed, because you can. I believe you can. Believe me, and if I can do it, I'm not a fitness expert, I'm not a fitness professional, I don't know anything about nutrition other than what I've learned through Beachbody. I'm a professional pointer, okay? And I have a toolkit that each and every one of you have access to. And I just think that, we all have to be so grateful to Carl and the team for doing this for us, and to the people who are running this event, and to everyone that can make this happen, the people who show up and work out, because it really is a gift, and just keep on giving it, okay? So whether you say yes or no, that's okay. Just take it and use it, and thank you for letting me